which means now the domain controller is managing that particular workstation. So anyways, want to create organization units. Uh, um, see. Want to create new organization units. So we go to new, and we're gonna create a CRA. So assuming that you had a company with various branches across different cities within a country, you can just create various organization units for all of those branches, so at least they can work within their respective organization units. In this case, I have Accra, which will probably be the primary headquarters of maybe the business. And then if they have other branches in different other cities, then you just create those um, units as well. So okay, so now we do have units. I want to create another organization unit as well. That's going to represent departments under the Accra branch. I'm going to create like the IT units. So there's IT units. You can also have finance units, HR units, production units, what have you. You know, we're just trying to organize our uh, domain controller very, very well, or in an organized structure. So now I can create users over here. I'm going to create a new user under the IT. So a user, and I'm going to put my name over there. Um, and then I want the username to be K Quarto, and then you click next, and then assign a password to it. So actually, you can just create a default password. Um, so that happens to be a default password, and you want users to change that password next login. So you just create a dummy password for them, and then once they log on the first time, they can change that password to their own preferred password. Okay, next, finish. According to the password meets the complexity demands of the system or requirements. Need to go back, and I know, let me just make it a bit complicated. Okay, nice, that should pick up. And let's add some key features. Description, IT officer. So office, IT department, phone number, email, stuff like that. You can just add them over here. Basically, whatever can make the account much more resourceful in terms of details of that particular user. This is where you basically input those. So the description didn't show up. Oh, I didn't save it. Wow. So IT officer. Office is IT department. And once that is done, you just click apply. Click OK, so that shows up. Okay, so we have an IT officer within the IT unit and the Accra branch. Okay. And then what else do we need? Let's add one more user. So let's add one more another unit. So I'm going to create another unit. And I'm going to name it maybe sales unit. Sales unit. And then the sales, we're going to have a new user over there. In this case, we're going to have John Doe. John Doe. And it's going to be J Doe as a username. Next. And create a default password for them, that particular user. And sales, maybe sales manager, sales officer. There's an officer over here. And sales department. Apply. Okay. We have two users within two different departments and the Accra branch. So that's wonderful. And then we click close. Okay, so that should be done with the our domain controller and user accounts. So let's come back to the diagram. Now, so we do have our AD server running. I've added some user profile accounts on them. Now we're gonna try to join this workstation 1 to the server, to the AD server, so you can manage that particular workstation. Okay. Oh, before that, we need to come back to our software router, PFSense router, and finalize the and add some of the new modification in terms of DNS, domain name, that we just configured onto it. Okay, so let's go back to our system, and to do that, we need to turn on our workstation so we can access the web interface of the software router. And machine is going to start getting really slow because now I have 3 machines that are using up a lot of memory. We have 2 gig here, 2 gig here, that's 4, that's 1 gig 3. So out of the 8 gig, I'm using already 5 gig has been taken out. That's 221. So we have 3 more gig. That's running the entire physical machine itself in its operating system. So that's going to be a toughie. But let's see how well it can handle it. If it doesn't crash, then we should be all right. Okay. Okay, we've acquired IP address. Good. So now let's go to our software router and make some modifications, or have some updates within the um, DNS setups. So at least when it leaves an IP address, it can also lease out the new DNS that it needs to conform to, and that would even help our machine here to join the domain, to join the 80 server much more easily. So it's loading up the server. Login page should come up very soon. Should be up very soon. Okay. And then we had admin. And our password. Oh, incorrect password. Hope I've not forgotten the password already. Wait, did I forget the password? It's taking a bit longer to load. Um, I might have forgotten the password I used. I don't think I did though. Let's just be sure. Everything starts to slow down, so loading some of these pages are taking forever now. Wow. I I might have expired. Just try it again. If this is taking too long, just close it. If session is expired, let me just close this. And let's try it again. Machine is running slow now. Crazy. So folks, beware. Memory, you need memory. Very important. 192.168.1. Taking a bit longer to load because the memories and system resources are becoming very inadequate. Kind of like reaching their max. So the system is acting extremely slow right now. But don't worry, we'll come back, we'll come online. Like I said, patience, just be patient with it for some time. Especially if you're dealing in a situation where you don't have that much, memory or system resource, and you might encounter some of these challenges. But it's okay. It's not big. It's not a big deal. So be patient with it. Let's see something here. Let's see if we can ping it. 192.168.1.1. Responding. Just loading the page is taking a bit longer. Maybe what we can try and do to resolve this slowness is to stop the AD for now. Okay, let's load it. And if I got the password right this time. I didn't really use much of any complicated password anyway, so I'm just hoping it's just because of, okay, there you go. So that went through. Okay, that's great. So we want to make some modifications on our services. In this case, DNS server. So our DHCP server, its configurations, we need to do some modifications on it. So we can open this up. Okay, so our DNS server here is supposed to be 192.168.168.1.10. That will be a primary DNS. So I'm going to save that. Okay, I need to include these guys as well. 192. Even though it's automatically been set. 1.1. And domain name is was open lecture.inst. Okay, so let's save that as well. We have a default pool from 100 to that. Okay, we save it. So basically adding some of these new roles and features were enabled on the server within our router. And LAN interface should also have the new IPs. Okay, should have the it's already set up. Okay, and then what else? The one, if I'm not mistaken, also has its own. Let's just check. It's one DHCP. Okay, that's so perfect. Then we go to services. Um, General setups. So let's change now we need to change this to open lecture. .inst. Primary DNS is 192.168.1.10. And what else do we need? I think that should pretty much do it. And then we save it. Always save your settings, any modification that you might have. Let's wait for it to kick in. Okay, so we have our DNS resolutions. Okay. And then now let's go back to our dashboard. Let's go to the dashboard to see if some of these things kicked in very well. Okay, so now we have our DNS shown over here. We want this to be the primary DNS instead of these two here. We want to get rid of the loopback. So let's go to our DNS services. DNS forwarders. See if we can change that. Where would it be? Yeah. DNS trying to look for system advanced. See. Networking. I'm pretty sure that shouldn't be a problem, but I just want to, get out of the way because we already indicated that within our DHCP server that the DNS should be 1.10, 192.168.1.10. So that shouldn't be a problem with the allocations or the leases when a machine requests for it. So let's give it a shot over here and see it. So now let's do, since we have the new DNS added to the router or to DHCP server, let's see if it picks it up. Currently, if we do an IP config, you notice that our DNS points to our what? We do /all space /all, you notice our DNS is pointing to 1.1, which is our software router. But we've added some new changes to it, so we want that to take effect now, which this should become 192.168.1.10 instead. And to do that, we need to ipconfig and do a release, and then renew. So now we have 0000. The same thing, now we just renew it. So the new IPs will kick in. Now watch down here, it's picking up. Yep. It's a home network, home lab network, you know. Okay, close it. Now let's check to make sure we have everything in place. Let's do /all. We can see all the IP configuration that we have now. Now if you notice, your DNS is now pointing to 10. So that's perfect. We really need this in order to join this workstation to the to our server. Okay. So with that said, let's minimize this and then try to add this machine, this workstation here. So in the illustration diagram on the layout, we want to add workstation 1, which happens to have a name Denu, to the our Windows Active Directory that we just set up early on. Okay, so to do that, you go to My Computer or Computer and right click on it, and then go to Properties, and you go to Advanced System Settings for Windows 7. Go to Computer Name, and then you want to click on Network ID. So Network ID Setups. So you walk through the wizard of joining this workstation to the AD. Next, next, next. Administrator, password. So it says type the username and password and domain name for your what? Domain account. So I'm using administrator's account and its password, and the domain name is open lecturer.inst. Then go to next. So now it's trying to look up to see the name of the computer is picked up. The domain, back to open lecturer again. .inst. Next. Now try to basically join this entire machine to the domain, but first you need to authenticate it or use an account with the right permission rights to join the machine to the domain. And administrator has that permission rights, so let's use that. Its password and a domain name, open lecturer.inst. And once you click OK, okay, so if you notice, we've been just said, do you want to enable a domain user account on this machine? We don't do that right now. We just want to have other users instead. But this indicates that it was able to authenticate this machine on the domain to add it to it. So next, and then it says you must restart. So change has taken effect. Now you notice that this machine is now part of a domain.